Alright, today we're going to work on solving equations. Today we're focusing in on solving equations that have addition and subtraction in them. So I want to show you some different types of equations that you'll see. Alright, the equations that we like are ones that are nice and solved like this. X equals 5 or y equals negative 19. Okay, you have the variable by itself on one side and then a number on the other side. Okay. Now the part that we're going to have to do today is the solving part, and that's when we have a variable that is adding or subtracting with something to equal something else. So x plus 3 equals 5, or y minus 20 equals negative 7. So we have this plus 3 and we have this minus 20 that's in the way of our variable. So we need to solve these. We need to get rid of that thing that's with the variable in order to get the variable by itself so it looks like x equals something or y equals something. So there's a few rules that we have to follow whenever we're solving equations. This first rule, we need to get the variable by itself. Alright, what you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other side. So if you add 3 on one side, you have to add 3 on the other side. And then you also need to use the opposite operation. So if you see that we're adding, you're probably going to be subtracting in order to get rid of whatever's next to the variable. Okay, so let's, I have two more, they're kind of like rules. They're actually called properties that you can write into your spiral if you'd like. So the first one says that you can subtract the same number from both sides of an equation and the two sides will remain equal. We're going to use this property when an equation contains addition. So when you see an addition sign, you're going to think, all right, I need to subtract that number in order to get the variable by itself. So my example is x plus 12 equals 20. Since I'm adding 12 right here, I'm going to do the opposite operation, and I'm going to subtract 12. So since I did that on this left side of the equation, and you can see the sides are split by the equal sign, I need to do that same thing on the other side. I'm going to subtract 12 over here. And it becomes like a really big subtraction problem. So on the left, plus 12 and minus 12 cancel each other out. They make 0. So I'm left with x. Then I have my equal sign. On the right-hand side, I have 20 minus 12, and that equals 8. So x equals 8 in this situation. And we can even go back and check this answer by saying, okay, originally it said x plus 12 equals 20. So we would put 8 plus 12 equals 20. And 8 plus 12 is 20. 20 equals 20. It checks out. Alright, the other property is you can add the same number to both sides of an equation, and the two sides will remain equal. Okay, you're going to use this when the equation contains subtraction, or if you see that they are adding a negative, then you'll want to add a positive to counteract that, to do the opposite. So we have two sides of our equation. On the left-hand side, I have x minus 9. So I need to do the opposite. I need to add 9 to both sides of the equation. Alright, on the left, this minus 9 and this positive 9 cancel out to make 0, so we're left with x equals, and 4 plus 9 gives us 13. So again, we can check this. We put 13 in the spot of x. 13 minus 9 equals 4. 13 minus 9 is 4. 4 equals 4. Checks out. Alright, let's solve a couple more. 20 equals x minus 5. Now, this time, the variable, the x, is on the right-hand side. So I'm going to look on that side first. I see that x is being subtracted by 5, so the opposite of that would be to add 5. And I'm going to do that to both sides. 20 plus 5 is 25 equals, and then on this side, the minus 5 and the plus 5 cancel, and we're left with x. So 25 equals x. Now I want to show you how to graph that. I have a blank number line right here. Whenever we're graphing, we only need 3 numbers. The number that the variable's on, one number above that, and one number below. Now it tells me x equals 25, so I'm going to put a single dot on 25, and I might even label it x. That's it. Alright, on this side, n is on the left-hand side, n plus 8. So in order to get rid of that plus 8, I need to subtract 8 from both sides. Alright, now this is going to get a little tricky on the right-hand side. On the left, it's easy. Plus 8 minus 8 cancel, and equals. Right here, I have a negative 3 minus 8. If I write that out like this, negative 3 minus 8, I've got a negative with a subtraction. So we should add the opposite, a negative 3 plus a negative 8. If you look at it this way, it's like there's two negatives that are being combined right here. Negative 3 and negative 8 gives us negative 11. If I wanted to graph that, again, we need 3 lines. So I need a negative 11. One more than negative 11 is negative 10, and one less is negative 12. And we put our dot right on negative 11, and we can label it in. Alright, so if you want to go back to watch the first part of the video and take notes, I highly suggest that. Put these examples in your spiral.